What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. I'm your host, Elliot Marshall, and it is my goal with each episode of this podcast to share the stories, strategies, tactics, tools, and resources that will help you establish or grow your martial arts school. The Black Belt Business Podcast is brought to you by Easton.Online. You can find all of our digital courses, martial arts curriculums, and resources designed to help you enhance your business at Easton.Online. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Guys, I am here today on the Easton.Online podcast with an O.O.G. My man, Alberto. What's up, man? How are you?
O.O.G. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm an OG, bro. You're an O.O.G.
O.O.G. What is that?
You're an original old gangster. You're an old school original gangster. I'm just a original gangster. You get the old school, so you're before me. But look, there's a way I break this down, right? This is how I break it down. And it's all based on Renzo, right? Because like my lineage is Renzo. So if you knew Renzo either before or during Craig Kukic, you know, when he met. So either you knew him in Brazil or during the Craig Kukic days, you're an O.O.G. If you knew Renzo and were training with Renzo when you had to go take the elevator up the methadone clinic, right? You had to walk in on the elevator with the meth heads. Then you're an OG, and that's me. So you and Amal are the OOs. I'm an O, and then everybody else, you can just be a G if you know Renzo now.
What's Renzo?
Oh, Renzo's the Godfather, bro.
The Godfather.
He's the Godfather of it all.
He's another level, yeah.
Yeah, he's another level. You know, he's another level. And look, it's an interesting thing with our instructors, and right, like, and we're kind of doing this in general. I don't want to go too far off on this tangent, but like, it's not even like I agree with everything that Renzo does or says or anything, but I can disagree with him, and that's still fine, right? That's still fine. I think that's totally okay. So, so please, everyone listening to the podcast, don't be like, oh, you're no. I don't agree with everything Renzo does. I don't agree with everything Alberto does. Alberto doesn't agree with everything I do, but we're still homies and we're still riding this fucking ship till the end together.
Right.
You know, so
nobody's perfect, right?
Nobody's perfect.
We're all human.
Yeah.
That's what makes this awesome.
Yeah. So Alberto, you opened your first school. First, tell everyone a little bit about your jiu-jitsu journey, how it started, you know, and then we'll get into when it was you decided that you wanted to open a school. So not too long on the jiu-jitsu journey part, but it is a very interesting topic with you because, you know, you are one of the pioneers for the American jiu-jitsu scene.
Yeah, so right, it's interconnected with Easton Jiu-Jitsu. I worked at a restaurant, and some of them were doing jiu-jitsu at that restaurant, and Amal Easton was one of those guys. And he soon after moved down to Brazil, and then came back, and we started training in his garage every day. And then we went to a few tournaments, and then I wasn't sure what direction I was going to go in life. And I chose to follow my passion, which was competing and things like that. I came back from Brazil after living with them all, and, you know, all our adventures, some of the adventures, right? And
Gospel Fire, go check out the Gospel Fire. If you want the not Cliff Notes story of this, go check out the Alberto Crane Gospel Fire story. If you want some amazing stories, everyone. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I came back from Brazil, and I wasn't sure, you know, what direction I wanted to go, or you know, I knew I wanted to do jiu-jitsu. I never ever thought about having a gym at those times. It was, you know, Fight Club days, and I remember when I went, because my mother was a teacher, and most of my family members are educators, right? And I remember at one of these teacher unit conferences, somebody said to me, "Oh, that's really nice what you're doing. You know, it must be nice. It's good for the girls and all that, you know, like doing this jiu-jitsu thing, you know, but it's not a career." And you know, I didn't sit well with me. I thought about that, and I was like, that's not right, you know, like, that's not right, you know? So it was something I never forgot. And then when I came back from Brazil, soon I kind of went back and forth for a little bit, but when I finally moved back to Brazil, I was trying to decide where I was going to go to. And I was thinking about to just move in with them all in Colorado. And then I decided to go to my hometown, and I needed a place to train. And I still wasn't even thinking about opening up a gym, but I just needed a place to train. And so I pretty much copied Amal's first flyer that he was pinning up in what's the Pearl Street in Boulder. You know, I used to visit him, and we used to staple him to those poles, right? Old school. And I did the same thing in Santa Fe, and I started getting phone calls, and then we started at this Aikido place. I just called places where I could teach, and that there was a spot or a time available. So I started teaching twice a week, and it got full really fast. I had like 30 students within within like a couple of weeks probably. And then after like a month, you know, guys bleeding on the mats because they had these white canvas mats, and you know, I tried to keep it clean, but you know, it's like jiu-jitsu and whatever. And I think the guy was a little bit jealous.
And we were definitely running Fight Club days back then. Like this shit was just straight up still Fight Club.
Yes, it was definitely wasn't like, you know, he was a more traditional martial artist, and so it was a little bit different, right? What we were bringing to the table in his defense. And then I was like, I guess I got to do my own place, because he kicked me out pretty much, you know. So I had to find a place, and luckily I was really connected in Santa Fe, and one of my students was a real estate broker, and he basically had a place that for really good rent right on the main street. And so he's like, man, I have a spot for you that I think that could work, and it's available now. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I ordered the mats and got a sign printed up, or not printed up, but made, right? You know, one of those legit signs, like where you slide, what do you call it? Those where you slide the logo inside.
Oh yeah. I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a legit spot, and I put some mats down. In the back room, it was a ski rental place. So in the summertime, right, there was no skiing. So it was a prime location. So, but in the back, when you go in the back, it was a bunch of skis, right, and snowboard rental. It was a ski rental place. But in the front, we had a nice room, and it was right on the main boulevard. And I had some mats down, and we just started classes, you know. And
I'm going to cut you off for a sec. I still recommend that if you don't have money currently, that this is the way to do it. Almost like go find a place where you can just put some mats down and rent out of a karate school, rent out of a wherever, you know, and do it this way. Get 30 students before you sign a lease, right? Like have some people coming in the door. Before, you know, because if you don't have any money, you got to pay rent on day one.
Yep. And it was an interesting time too, right? In those days, because not a lot of people knew what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was. They knew what karate was. They knew what Taekwondo was, but unless they watched those early UFCs, which was this, you know, small demographic, they didn't know what it was, and nobody was bringing in their kids at that time.
No, there's no kids classes for sure.
Yeah.
So you grew it though, you know.
I grew it. Yeah, I grew
it. You know, and what was the process of growing it like, especially for you early on? What was, you know, because this is again, you guys got to remember, this is before the internet, right? Like the internet really wasn't a thing.
Yes.
There's no internet marketing. You and I were just talking about Facebook ads a second ago offline and how hard they are. None of this existed.
So my mom, and she called the newspapers, and we got some newspaper articles written on me, the Tough Gringo, and some other ones. And so we just got consistently put out these newspaper articles, and people just started calling. And then of course word of mouth, and then my location, it was on the main spot. So if you drove by, you saw the spot, and so it just filled. And before I knew it, I had 100 students without having any business. I sent, of course, Amal is my big brother. Amal Easton was my big brother, right? So he always was always there for me anytime I needed anything, and he had, you know, more experience than me. But I was 23 years old at the time, and so I had no experience, and you know, but it worked. It started to work. I gave my heart and soul to the students. I gave my all for them to be their best, like you know, it was done to me, and I just spread that energy, and it grew from there.
And when did you leave the Fight Club? Because this is a big thing, right? And some schools are still in it, right? And what I'll call Fight Club, this is what I'll call Fight Club, and you tell me, bunch of dudes running around, shirts off all the time, dogs running in and out, right? Like
I'll tell you, it's you know, Maul is always he's been my big brother, and been along the journey in all different aspects, right? From the arena, from fighting arena to just you know, advice as a you know, best man at my wedding, everything else, right? And he was the atheist best man at an Armenian Christian church, holding a cross over our heads.
Holding a cross over your head.
Jewish atheist. I didn't tell anybody. Anyway, the moment for me was I gave everything I had, and you were in Canada at the Abu Dhabi trials, right? And that was invite only, right? They paid for your ticket and your travel and all that. And I gave everything I had to be the best. And what I thought was, if I'm the best, my school's going to be packed, right? People are going to want to train with me, right? Whatever. But that wasn't the case, And case in point, I went to those Abu Dhabi trials. I cut a lot of weight. I put everything, I really trained hard. I was fully committed. And when you fully committed to that, you weren't doing like the business things. And so, man, when I came back, I didn't know how I was going to pay the rent, how I was going to, just make ends meet, because I put all my focus into that training. And the night before I left, we stayed in Vancouver, and I stayed up with them all, like talking about.
We had sushi.
What's that?
We had sushi.
No, it was in Tim's house. It was in the basement. I remember it was in the basement. It was me and him.
Yeah, but we had sushi that night for dinner.
That night, yes, yeah. I think so. I don't remember, but
I do. Yeah, we had sushi.
It was good sushi in Vancouver. I remember that though. But what I really remember was that staying up with him all night and just talking about how you need to create systems. And that even though he's not there in Colorado, things are running as normal. Because I was a one-man show, and I had help too. Like I had some really loyal students, but I didn't have it together. And that was the moment that I was like, things have to change.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's funny that it's around Sushi Dinner. One of our clients right now, he's my friend. He's the one who actually got me into jiu-jitsu in 1997. We were at sushi eating. He came out to visit, and then he saw our schools. And then like a week later, he calls me. He's like, man, you ate sushi with me and nothing changed. Like you didn't, like nobody missed you. And I was like, well, yeah, like of course not. And he's like, I need that. So it's funny. He had his epiphany at a sushi dinner as well.
Yeah.
So systems are the key. So what were some of your first systems that you implemented? Well, like when you say systems, what does that mean?
Well, so, he told me about the E-Myth book, but what I did is, I read Think and Grow Rich when I was a teenager, when I moved down to Brazil, because of them all as well. And your goals and masterminding and, and those kinds of things, gaining specialized knowledge. And so in gaining specialized knowledge, there was a karate guy in Colorado, right? Doing
Stephen
Oliver doing a business seminar, right? And man, it was a bunch of fat karate guys, right? And it was, I think maybe Finney, maybe you were there, as a jiu-jitsu Maul and his guys. And
I didn't do it. I was still trying to be the best of them. I was still stuck in that dream.
Yeah, you were still younger. And Lord Irvin was there as well. And they asked, who's done 5,000 hours of technical training? Everybody raised their hand. Okay. Who's done 5,000 hours of sales and marketing training? Only the fat karate guys in the front and Lord Irving raised their hand.
It's a thing.
And so I was like, okay, I got to learn sales and marketing. I have to study sales and marketing. And so after that, I began to just become a student. I didn't stop. I kept pursuing my passions, because it really makes me happy even to this day. But I started to study sales and marketing because, I wanted to keep doing this. I really believe in jiu-jitsu, and I believe in this lifestyle. And I also needed to make a living for my family at the same time, my future family, right, that I wanted to create. So I was like, I gotta get together, right? Or I'm gonna have a 9 to 5 and then do it afterward, right? But that, I think that I believed in that. I was young enough too, as well, that I could really give my all to make a good run, right? And at that time, there weren't that many people with good businesses in jiu-jitsu. It was all karate and taekwondo guys, yeah.
None. Yeah, all the karate guys were doing it, right? All the fat karate guys in the front were doing it, but nobody in, in the jiu-jitsu scene was doing it.
Jiu-Jitsu or MMA people, yeah.
Yeah. So when you started implementing, what did the implementation look like?
You know, like things like answering the phone, how to answer the phone, how to greet people, which is, you know, essentially the same thing. Having procedures, you know, like when they show up, like how to talk to them, right? And learning, really getting that specialized knowledge, like what you guys are doing, really, you know, just learning all those procedures that you guys have been doing since the O.O.G days. I'm gonna say
O.O.G days. Yeah.
You guys, Easton BJJ is a O.O.G, doing it the right way. You know, there's some other ways, right, that I've also learned from, right, but like it didn't sit right with me for long term. But I really believe in integrity, right, and doing things the right way. But you know, yeah. So just learning all those procedures, like answering the phone, greeting people, how to sign them up, follow up, and then also kind of curriculum and you know, like certain etiquettes in the gym.
So let me ask you a question, because you hear a lot like the pushback, like when we say these business seminars, right? Like, oh, you're going to run a business now, right? Oh, you're going to sell out. I'm definitely of the feeling that you don't have to sell out, but like you and Alberto, you and I are kind of cut from the same cloth a little bit, in the sense of we chased our passion to the fullest, right? To the fullest until we couldn't give anymore. And we're also very evangelical, I would say, in the sense of, man, if I'm doing it and if you're doing it, you're gonna hear about it if I believe in it, because I can't help but not tell you, because I believe in it so well.
Yeah.
So the integrity of jiu-jitsu is very, very important, I would say, to both of us. So how do you balance this quote unquote business sense with yeah, I'm not gonna be a fucking sellout. I'm not gonna be a bitch.
That's a really great question, right? Because when I first started to make the changes, did everybody go along with me? They didn't, you know. Almost everybody did, but there were some people that I really loved and cared about. My kids coach that thought I was all about the money, but in reality, I was just trying to make it a good business so I could take care of them better as well, right? Pay them and have something that's sustainable for me and for, you know, for us, right? To have them grow into something. And so I had to fire and let go of some people in that process, you know, but it was hard at the time, but it's what had to be done. And you know, looking back now, it was, you know, it's nothing that's the way. That was the way. There's no question. And then selling out, right? There's like, I was part of the Gracie Barra. I was part of Lord Irving's thing. Just a lot of different. I studied with wherever, you know, I could learn, right? I really worked hard with different karate guys, right? Masterminds and things like that. But for me, it's like you know, they do the you know, paid in fulls, like for like 5 years or 3 years or whatever it was, you know, and things like that. Like I just don't, because most people are going to fail. I want to set it up for it's not like I'm trying to just take money from people, but of course you need to do things the right way. And they need to be responsible for their, you know, what they do. But for me, it's one of those things is those, I stopped doing that. I did do it when I first learned about it, you know, but then
everybody did.
Yeah. And then I just didn't feel right because, you know, what if somebody pays, it's just not, I didn't feel right, you know, deep down, and it's not necessary, you know, if you do good work, if you do a good job, if you really care about the students, and you do the right things, it's going to grow. People are going to tell other people, if you make a difference in their life, guess what? That student is staying with you.
Let's talk about this pay in full thing for a little bit, and just for a second, give some people some advice here. Look, pay in fulls are not good unless from a business sense, unless you already have a very high EFT, right? Like which is your draw, right? Your monthly draw. If you have a high EFT, then okay, a couple pay in fulls, great. You know, great, good. You know, that's nice cash in the bank. But what you really want to build is your EFT. And if you don't build your EFT, and every month you're paying in full with the students, or you're buying out, quote unquote, their programs, man, you gotta start, like, the selling becomes so important at this. Like, you have to sell. You have to, and then you're under the gun all the time. So, if somebody wants to pay in full, we let them, but we don't even really offer it. We don't even, like, when we're selling, when on the front end, we don't really offer the pay in full. People ask, and we go, yeah, you could do this, and if you buy 6 months, you get 7, yada yada. Like, we have something for them.
Yeah,
but
we do like a 6-month program where they save some money.
But it's not something that
really
we're pushing.
we don't push it. We don't push it. We just let them know, hey, we have this, and if they want to do it, cool. If not, no worries.
Alberto, when you look back, right, and where you are now, what's some of the best advice that if you could now look? I always got to preface this question because, like, I don't believe in looking back. I don't believe in, like, going like, oh man, I wish I would have done this differently, because I love my life right now where it is, and I don't believe that you could get to where you are now if you didn't make the mistakes that you did in the past, right? But if you could go back and it wouldn't change where you are now, and you could give yourself some advice to that young Alberto starting a school, maybe mid-school, somewhere in there, what would that be?
Man, I did it right. I searched out for mentors, and I was lucky enough to have Amal as a mentor early on.
Mm-hmm.
And because of him, really, I always had him like in my corner. I could always reach out to him for anything. And because of that, I feel really blessed, and I was able to make the mistakes, but they were, it's, like, for as far as like thinking that, if I competed and I won all the tournaments, and beat it was the best, that my school is going to be packed. Right. Just, I had to go through that. Right. I had to actually,
So your advice would probably be find a mentor. What's
that?
Your advice sounds like it's find a mentor.
Yeah, find a mentor for sure. Find a mentor, find somebody, that's successful, that is where you want to be, and learn, ask for, don't be shy to get advice.
Yeah.
And then right, implement it, do it.
Yeah, that's the hard bit. Implement it and do it, currently right now, minus COVID, right? Because COVID's kind of difficult for everyone. Like, but what is the difficult thing that you deal with, when you talk about like running your school, right? Because we all have our difficulties with our schools. What are some of the stuff that you deal with that brings you problems or issues, and then how do you deal with them?
I think just man, right now, just because we have our staff has been with us so long, like, I used to train, I used to do all the staff training, and I haven't done the staff training in so long just because the people I'm really spoiled, but just, being on top of everybody, and that, I feel like that's part of me giving back, just making sure everybody's doing things, professionally and the best of their abilities, making sure the rants, and here and there, I'm not on top of it every day, because
complacency a little bit, because has been doing it. So you're not complacent. I'm not saying that, it sounds like, but yeah, we get stuck in the routine, right? This is how we do it.
And I've reached out to you, like, I'm always trying to improve, things, right? I'm always trying to improve, and like, things are going good, right? Things are great, I'm living the dream. I really living the dream, but I always want to try to improve and give the best to the students, give the best to the community, make it, do our best, right? In every aspect, from being professionals to like the business to, what we give to the, to the community and to the students, so just all those things. I'm always want to push the boundaries to do my best.
Yeah, you are definitely, I remember, I don't know if I was a blue belt or a purple belt, Alberto. You are definitely a boundary pusher, in the sense I can remember you asking me, Elliot, are you an innovator, or are you just a follower?
I said that.
Yeah, you asked me, like, which one are you? An innovator or an imitator? That was what it was, and because you're always trying to push, like, you're never not trying to push the boundary, and just, that's your style. So I remember that very specifically. We were sitting on the mats in Boulder. We were sitting on the mats in Boulder.
Talking about jujitsu, right? Jujitsu techniques.
Yeah, jujitsu techniques. But it's the same thing for your school.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same thing for your school. Like, are you always trying to push the boundaries of your school? And I'd probably say for you at this point, one of the boundaries is like our management, right? Like, it's like management is kind of what you were talking about there a second ago, as far as you know, meetings and and that. So what style do you use when you are managing your staff? Because there's different styles. There's like, do it because I said it, kind of hands off and just let them run it how they want.
I think my style is definitely motivating, inspiring, and empowering the staff, and I've had some really great compliments of other black belts with gyms and stuff and come by, and everybody acts, everybody acts, and they like it's their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
They treat it like it's their own gym, which it is, right? But that there's none of that, and I think it's I don't know. I think I give myself a pat on the back, but I think it's like I'm really lucky, between my wife and everybody, that really great people that we've had, we just have a great culture of that in our gym, and the new people that come in or forgive them opportunities. That's kind of the culture that kind of sets in.
One of the best culture pieces about your school, Alberto, is your wife's business right next door. So you can, it feels like Brazil a little bit, right? You can train jiu-jitsu and then you can go get an acai bowl at Acai Jungle, right? So, like, right, boom, boom. It is pretty sweet. And that's very cultural Brazilian, so yeah, it's pretty sweet. Last question before we jump off. When you're dreaming big, right? When you're dreaming big, which I know you're always dreaming big. When you're dreaming big for your school, for your business, what is that? What does that dream look like?
When I'm dreaming big for myself or the business,
For the school, yeah, for the school,
yeah.
like, what does it look like?
And it's like, it's honestly, it's not just like, it's not like money, it's I want to make the biggest impact. Sometimes I think of like the end of my life and what I want to make it. I want to make a difference, right? And I believe in, like, jiu-jitsu is one of those ways. I believe in TacFit as well, combined with jiu-jitsu. Probably haven't talked a little bit to your ear off, but I want to give my best, and just be present, always be connected, and make the biggest impact that I can make in with my time that I have. And podcasts are great, right? I started a podcast after we spoke, right? That first on the Ring of Fire. Fire. So what's that?
The Gospel Fire. Yeah.
Gospel Fire. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
We fought in the Ring of Fire.
I fought in the Ring of Fire. Didn't you fight in the Ring of Fire?
I did as well.
Were you the champ of the Ring of Fire too, or no?
I was champ, yes, as well.
Yeah. We were some of the first champs of the Ring of Fire. And people, like, you got to understand, back in the day, the Ring of Fire was what got you to the UFC, right? So it's kind of like the LFA now. Like, if you become that champion, then you go.
That's right. Yeah. So just all these things, like, podcasts were great during COVID,
yeah,
the closures, because we're able to stay connected in a way. But just, I want to give everything I have and be the most efficient with my time, so I can make the most impact in technology, and just trying to always learn and stay connected to people that are doing great, like you guys are doing. You guys are doing big things.
Well, man, for me, Alberto, I've said this to you before, but I want to say it again here. As far as like people to look at, I believe in North Stars. Like, you need to have something to point at in your life. And for me, in my early career of jiu-jitsu, you were definitely something I was pointing at, right? As my whole way up, is you were ahead of me, right? You were ahead of me in doing what I did, a gringo, right? Who do everything and anything, travel the whole world to get better at jiu-jitsu and be a champion, and be the best at, at one time was best in the world. And now it, like, that dream is gone for both of when, there's no more world titles in our sights, probably, Alberto, but there's still best, the best that we can be, and I got a lot of that drive from you. So that was much appreciated. I know you've done some really great things, with TacFit, with your TED Talk that you just did. Tell everyone about that quickly so that they can go do a little more research on you, or find out more about you. So yeah, go.
Yeah, TacFit, right? The world's smartest workout. And my TED Talk, I got to mention it, but it's how to overcome extreme adversity was the goal of the talk. And basically, TacFit, I had a lot of injuries from competing and fighting and things like that. But I was also diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I had a lot of issues with even speaking and walking, and I wouldn't show it, but a lot of things, a lot of issues. The TacFit brought everything back for me. it really brought everything back, connecting my breath, the correct structure, just learning the things on a really deep level, really brought everything back for me. And what's amazing is that ever since I implemented it into my gym, right, as well, the same thing is it's replicatable with all the students. They see the same thing happening. Just their people's everything shifting, everything getting better, like injuries getting better, getting healthier, right? So it's like the yin and the yang, I feel like, with jiu-jitsu. Like we talked years ago about CrossFit and stuff.
Yeah.
It's on sport, but TacFit, like, your strength and conditioning shouldn't get in the way of your sport, right? Whatever you're doing, it should help you in your sport. And so, like, what I love about TacFit is it goes so well with jiu-jitsu, right, and of course other things, but also even if you did CrossFit, it will help you in your CrossFit because you learn about breath and deeper how to structures in the body and things like that.
Yeah, I don't feel that CrossFit and jiu-jitsu go well together. The CrossFit's too taxing.
TacFit is it's where it's at, and like I said, it really changed my life, and I was able to share my story, on the TED Talk, and how the doctors told me I would be in a wheelchair. They said you're probably gonna end up in a wheelchair. They, gave me a stack of drug catalogs, told me I'm sorry, and treated me like my life was over, and luckily, I had the experience with Scott Sonnen, who's the creator of TacFit, and back in 2007-8 when he helped me for one of my UFC fights. And my subconscious ended up taking me to one of his certifications, and then I felt like it was good for me, and I started to feel it with each rep, with each breath, and I just went all in, same thing, and I went all around the world, and just things started it started changing from the inside out. I had a reading comprehensions and learning problems. For whatever reason, I couldn't read books anymore. I used to read a lot when I was younger, and there was like a 10-year period where things weren't working, and just things started to come back once I started to train in the system. And so I just want to share it. I love jiu-jitsu. So it goes so well with jiu-jitsu, even if you don't do jiu-jitsu, it's an amazing thing. That's my TacFit. My TED Talk is hopefully it's going to come out this month in November. But right. It's like just never giving up, right? Never giving up. Keep fighting, right? Keep searching for solutions. And TacFit has been that for me. I love to share with all my jiu-jitsu friends, and it's so empowering because it makes me so happy. Because some of my black belt friends couldn't train anymore because they were so injured and they had so many issues going on. And then they start to do the TacFit stuff, and things started to work better. And you don't want to be training till the end, in a healthy way, right? You don't want to be in pain, be 40, 30 years old, like walking with the cane, right? You see some guys doing,
yeah.
So I feel like it's part of the training, and I'm just grateful that I get to do that. And it's my story, with TacFit, and the TED Talk was connected with that because just the way the training is, it just brought everything back, and you keep searching for solutions. You can always find a way to get what you want, right? To achieve your goals, to dream your dreams, to live your dreams. And if I were to listen to the doctors, who knows? I would be in a wheelchair, but I'm the CEO of TacFit, and so on top of all my gym, that's very important to me. The TacFit, I run the TacFit as well, so I get up really early, and I'm really live my life to the fullest. So it's in TacFit give me that, and just keep going for it, keep searching.
Alberto, you're a fighter's fighter, man. You're a fighter's fighter, bro. Like you put it all out there, you give it all, and win, lose, or draw, doesn't matter, right? Win, lose, or draw. Pick up our shields, and we either come back with it or on it. And you are the epitome of it. So thanks so much for doing this. I hope everyone enjoyed, guys. Don't forget, go check out Easton.Online. That's where all of our courses live. You can also find a time if you would like. We have a mastermind. We have a consulting business where you can become an affiliate of ours, right. where we can help you. All of these things, all of these systems that Alberto said he had to go to all these seminars for. You don't have to do that. We have it. Right. We have 7 successful martial arts schools, all in the Denver metro area. So hopefully we have all of this for you. If we don't, we'll figure it out and we'll do it together. We have no problem saying no. Hey, we don't know, and we'll get through it. So Easton.Online, go check him out at Alberto Crane. He's the man. Thanks so much for doing it, Alberto. I appreciate it.
Thank you for what you guys do every day, just on the mats, and thank you for what you guys are doing now to help school owners and hopefully maybe future school owners as well. I really appreciate, I really respect you, and of course all the things that you guys do. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Big fan, and yeah, thank you.
It's important, man. We all have to run our martial arts schools better and be more skillful so that more people can do it. It changed my life. It changed your life. So that's the reason that we're doing this. So, all right, guys, that's it. Thanks, Alberto. Easton.Online at Fire Marshal 205 is my Instagram. At Alberto Crane is his Instagram. At Easton.Online is Easton.Online's Instagram. Well, no dot in there. At Easton.Online is Easton.Online's Instagram. Check us out. We'll see you all soon. We'll be back next time.